First News Binghamton, News Radio 1290, WNBF.
And First News WNBF here. Good morning. It's 7:23. And all weekend, perhaps if you checked our website or listened in, you know that we were going to make an announcement pertaining to the future of News Radio 1290 WNBF. And this is one that is a very difficult one to make. But it's time, and it's time for us to let you know what is in the works here coming up on News Radio 1290 WNBF. You know that if you've been listening on a regular basis over the years, this is a true community treasure. And we really mean that. There is no other place you can get the news and information, whether it's on air or on our WNBF.com website, like we're able to bring it to you. And to have that done has taken an incredible amount of dedication. And this goes back years and years and decades. When I got here, Ted Baer was the morning show host and the program director. And then, of course, John Leslie came. And he owned the market for a number of years. He did things that people talk about still today. Tremendous to elevate WNBF and keep it so strong and competitive. And then, of course, other folks like Kerry Donovan, Russ Monroe, Russ and Gene in the morning team. And along with that, Tony Russell. And then I was able to move in from sports work and hosting afternoons to the morning show, and then took over the morning show a few years after Tony had it. He moved on to do the talk show, and the progression continued. But WNBF through it all, floods, blizzards, you name it, over decades, has been the news source. And if you follow along, as I've often mentioned on our radio program, our website, WNBF.com, we're able to bring information to you often as it's happening from remote locations. We're able to do that through modern technology, even before we have a chance to drive into the studio, edit the tape, and get the information to you. That's why we say that we urge you to pay attention to our website throughout the evening hours, weekends, whenever. Bob and Kathy have done a fabulous job in keeping up to date with news and information at all hours of the day and night, 7 days a week. The old adage is news never sleeps, and that's exactly right. News does not sleep. We've seen that over the past weekends with demonstrations and protests and things that go on, and it doesn't stop. And yet WNBF, as much as humanly possible, is there to bring you the news and the information. It's a wonderful part of our community, and I've been so blessed to be part of it for almost now 42 years. 42 years. I've enjoyed so much having a chance to talk with you in the mornings and at other times. Really, the job I've had is threefold. First of all, our morning show. Second of all, my sports involvement, which I treasure to this day. High school football and Binghamton University basketball, and those have been my love. And, of course, I came here. Jacques Caron and Kitty Bocock was the general manager. Jacques was the general manager of the Broom Dusters, and they hired me here specifically to come in and broadcast pro hockey, and that was a great time in my life. Since then, over the course of years, I've also added the duties, the past 34 years now, as what was program director, and then also now brand manager. Brand manager encompasses many, many things. The digital end of things, not all the content or anything, but you have to know that it's working properly. And also with that, you have to know that we're on the air 24/7. Unlike many businesses, and it's not all, I know that, many are around-the-clock services, certainly first responders and those types of things, but our business never stops, ever. It doesn't shut the doors on Christmas Eve or New Year's Day. We're still on. We may not have live people in the studio, but somebody has to be the caretaker of that. Somebody has to pay attention to it. And those who have not paid attention over the years have faded away, while WNBF has been strong and continues to be a vital force in our community. I'm very proud to say WNBF remains, despite all the changes in the industry, a dominant force in our Binghamton radio market. And to do that, we've had an outstanding team with many of the best professionals ever in the history of our broadcast industry, certainly around this region. So it's with a difficult amount of emotion to tell you that I am going to be retiring full-time coming up in a couple of weeks. June 19th will be my last scheduled radio show here. I'll still be around full intent to continue to broadcast sports in the area with our high school football coverage and Binghamton University men's basketball, as I said, has been a treasure for me. But as far as the everyday dealings and the monitoring, sometimes almost round the clock to make sure that we're covered as best we can, that'll be coming to a halt. It's not for any one particular reason. I was lucky enough to play college football with two outstanding Hall of Fame football coaches in Dr. Harold Burry and Dr. Joe Fusco. Between them, they won 5 national championships, 5. And one day, they said they knew, and they walked away in the prime of their careers. And I always wanted to be able to emulate that, not in their class, but to know that while I still could do what I do, I could walk away, and I've been lucky enough with Town Square Media to be able to do that. It's difficult to leave a treasured radio station like this, at least full-time, but also it's not because of any one reason. Often people leave because they're asked to leave. Often people leave because they have a disagreement with their company or boss, and none of that is true. My boss, Barbara Meany, has been outstanding. And it makes it extremely difficult to leave because many people don't have that opportunity to work for somebody like that. She's tremendous and a true treasure to Town Square Media. And Town Square Media is, in my estimation, the best large media company in the nation. To continue local coverage like we're able to do is these days almost unheard of. And they enable us to do it. But it's the treasured team that gets it done. Kathy's articles at 2, 2:30, 3 in the morning. Bob Joseph on the scene of something midnight, 1 in the morning on weekends. It doesn't happen without dedication. And they have been that dedicated part of it. So in a couple of weeks, Friday the 19th will be my last regular program. I hope to kick around again a few times from here and there, but nothing on a regular basis. I'm extremely proud to mention that Doug Mosher will be taking over not only my morning show, but also the brand manager duties of WNBF. I will look forward to listening in and being a part of it when I can, but probably the 4 a.m. alarm clock will not be going off on a regular basis. It'll be nice to get a break and to continue on in some capacity here in our local community. It is a true treasure. So that's the story. That is the information to release to you today. WNBF is in great hands. Doug Mosher is a seasoned professional. He's worked with us. You've heard him here for me during my trips on basketball this past season. He's been on the Whale, the Hawk, and is an outstanding pro. He will lead us on in tremendous fashion, no doubt about that. And, of course, with your support and the support of some of our, well, many of our outstanding businesses who have supported us and WNBF for decades. My thanks to you, all of you, and again, I'll be around for a couple of more weeks on a regular basis. And we thank you all for being part of News Radio 1290 WNBF. It's 7:31. This is WNBF Binghamton and WNBF.com. Kathy White has a look at local news coming up next.
This is WNBF.